We've talked about ring worlds, we've talked about void dwellers. It's time to go to the other side of the spectrum. Let's talk about Scions. Yes, Scions, the origin where you start off as a species where you got a good old sugar daddy on the other side of the galaxy or nearby, depending on the particular situation. Regardless, it's a fallen empire and they do not like you to die. No, they're there, they've uplifted you, probably, we don't know, but yeah, it's a thing. You start as a vassal of a fallen empire. That's literally the premise. Now, what does that actually illustrate? Let's dive in, shall we, and see what Scions actually do. Now, as soon as you start the game, you are greeted by this wonderful screen that says that we are an experiment and it's now time for phase 2, something to do with faster than light speeds. However, we get a couple of cool tools that we have available to us within this galaxy. We will also know where the fallen empires are in the vicinity of our galactic space, and also any empires that spawn around them. Now, we obviously have 2 of them in this particular scenario, and obviously we want to be able to do stuff. Now, what can we do as a Scion? Well, it's pretty straightforward. We can do everything we can do as a normal empire. We can expand, we can research, we can go to war, we can do politics, we can do everything except that the only difference is that we've got, as I mentioned, a sugar daddy who feeds us all the sugar when we so require. Actually, no, that's not entirely true. He will force feed us that sugar until we're fat and plump and ready for harvest. And by us being ready for harvest, no, it's definitely the Xenos, because my lord is this start overpowered. Let's dive into the save game that I have of Scions and show you what I mean. So here we are in our galaxy. We've got ourselves our Scions. I picked a nice little logo here because it makes it look like the big circle and the small circle are intertwined, like the Fallen Empire and the Small Empire, but that is just all pedantic. In this particular case, Diplocore, mining guilds, ethics, in all honesty, they don't really matter for these here bad boys. Why? Because while it's not guaranteed, there is a good chance that if you are by far the weakest empire on the map, the Fallen Empire is gonna go, hey, so we went into the closet the other day and we found these here, yeah, Fallen Empire ships. There's gonna be 4 of them. I lost one of them, sadly enough. And it's about 7k fleet power at the start of the game, so go nuts. And we'll check in on you later. Long story short, I conquered half the galaxy within no time flat, and yeah, there's not much to say about it. When it comes to Scions, if you get this event and you manage to get all these ships, there is really only one thing you can do, and that is conquer everybody. Should you conquer everybody, because you have the opportunity to do something special, which is what, for instance, the current war is. We are currently in a rather special war, which basically is, hey, you will become a Scion, just like us, under the power of the Fallen Empire. It's called bringing them into the fold, which is cool. I don't have a problem with that. That's fine. But the real question here is, what is Scions at its core? Well, at its core, it is a sandbox. This is effectively sandbox mode within Stellaris, where you can go ham because daddy will give you all the cash you need. You're not going to be paying any bills. You're going to go to college, basically on mommy and daddy's payroll. Oh, it's going to be fine. You can do whatever the hell you want. You need technology? They'll give you technology. You need a level 7 leader of any variety? They will probably give you one. You need a governor? You need a scientician? You need yourself a general, which I got for some reason. I got the worst of the bunch in this particular case. There he is, a Charn Junab. Yeah, that's right. Or an admiral. They'll just drop you a level 7 with a random stat on top of it. But the real question is, do you really want to bring these other empires into the fold? What is your goal? Well, that is all up to you. Do you want to unify the galaxy under the banner of a fallen empire and stand atop the writhing masses as an intermediary between the gods and the peasantry down there as a sort of middle management who has been booted up from the lower classes? Well, that's possible. But what you could also do is tech yourself all the way up and then release yourself from said fallen empire by going to war with them to get your independence. War is ways to secure independence. Now, the real problem with this is if you've been busy turning the other empires into Scions, they will also attack you at the same time. Effectively, you are making it yourself more difficult by making other empires Scions as well, and obviously this is a problem. Now, what should you really do here? Well, in this particular case, the galaxy is your oyster. As I mentioned, the Fallen Empire will give you ships. They will take them away from you if you decide to attack them whilst you still have them. But they will also give you tech. They will give you leaders. They will give you resources. Gigantic amount of resources at random intervals. So yeah, should you use these resources that have been given to you to annex enemy territory and then slowly but steadily release yourself from those that have put the yoke on your shoulders, or make it yourself more difficult and make the Fallen Empire a little bit more interesting, as in more powerful, because anybody that will attack them will be attacking all the Scions, which is obviously not what you want. Ironically, there's a couple of weird quirks with this that I found out. Do you see this system and this system over here? It's they're a little bit curious. Why? Because this is the middle finger, and this is a holy world, and this is the test, which is also a holy world. There's a fallen empire over here. It is, of course, the spiritualist fallen empire. They don't like us very much, but considering we are part of another fallen empire, they don't really care for us taking over their holy worlds, which, well, let's put it this way, is just hilarious. Why? Because now I've got a Gaia size 25 world that has more minerals that I could possibly count on even all my appendages. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I've got a giant fleet. Actually, there are only like 4 ships. There were 4 ships. They're 3 now because I lost one. But yeah, it's insane. I could send my fleet out to any other empire, humiliate them, or enforce my ideology, which is also a great way of getting on top of things. Flip another empire to your ideology, then bring them into a federation and watch those federations boost to the highest level due to the cohesion within said federation. That's a good idea. Use your weapons wisely, dear viewer. You can use this here Fallen Empire fleet to create the galaxy's strongest federation just by flipping ideologies. Think about that, because it's a extremely strong way of playing. On top of that, you could just humiliate people. You could start off as any sort of empire that you would like, because again, Sugar Daddy is waiting for you, because if you yelp, he'll come out. If you go to war and you're losing said war, they will just give you ships. I'm not even kidding. They will give you ships. Specifically, if you have a intervention scenario, if the defender, i.e. the person you're most likely attacking, has a war exhaustion of over 80%, and the attacker, i.e. you, has a war exhaustion of around 60%, and your fleet is not overwhelming compared to theirs, they will just make them overwhelming, because that's how that works, apparently. But yeah, Scion. Scion is fascinating. Scion is definitely the kind of scenario that if you are a brand new player for Stellaris, you've never played Stellaris before, but you've managed to pick up Federations, this is what you want to start with. You can pick anything you like, and you will be supported the entire way. The Fallen Empire will hold your hand throughout the game, and no matter what you do, of course, unless they die, they will support you. And this scenario, whilst extremely overpowered and absolutely not being there for players who are extremely experienced, yeah, it's still a perfect beginner's scenario. It's perfect for those kind of people. If you want to give it a go, I give it a high recommendation. For everybody else, go play Void Dwellers, go play with the Doomsday, go play maybe with the Ringworld. It does have a little bit of a challenge there, but still, Scions. Powerful to the tea. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give it a subscribe. And in the meantime, we're going to go wrap it up here. Thank you so much to my patrons for making this video possible. If it wasn't for you, Cardboard Box, that whole story, we talked about that the other day. I would be sleeping in one. It'd be really, really sad. In addition, for those of you who don't have Federations just yet and are just jonesing or foaming at the mouth in order to get it, well, there's a link in the description below that will take you to the Paradox store. You can buy it there. You will get a Steam key with that you can load into your Steam and make sure that your game is up to date, etc. In addition, I will get a share of that as well, so it directly supports the channel at the same time. Thank you so much for watching, and this has been Scions. Until next time, take good care of yourselves, and as always, my God, look at this. It's actually insane.